Hi everyone, I am back in what I think is my very appropriate Halloween costume. I don't know what the non-human intelligences would think about this. Would they find it amusing? Would they think it was cultural appropriation or something worse? I don't know. But since I'm pretty convinced they've never been to Earth, it probably doesn't matter. So anyway, I'm back. I was dressed up in this costume and I was like, this is too perfect. I feel like I need to make a Linda Moulton Howe reaction. So that's what I'm going to do. And this video, this live was on Wednesday night this week. And it's about 3i Atlas. And I know nothing about 3i Atlas. I have not been following it. The only thing I know is that it is a comet. And it is getting brighter than expected. That's all I know. We're going to see what Linda thinks about 3i Atlas and whether or not it is important. And the title of this live is, Why is the Truth About 3i Atlas Hidden by Clickbait? And there was like a Fox News segment in the thumbnail, so we'll see how bad this is. All right, Linda. Let's go.
Hi, everyone here and around the world, and thank you so much for your great support. This Earth Files YouTube channel has now broken through 295,000 subscribers.
Oh my God, so good.
And many of you have...
Oh my God, okay, can I just say, I need to get back to doing this more regularly. I love Linda. I love her. She makes me smile. Her presence just makes me happy. I'm so glad that she's gotten so many subscribers. I guess that could mean something bad, but I just think Linda in general, I think of as a force for good in the world. So, okay, let's not make any blanket statements. But I think Linda is delightful, and just listening to her makes me happy.
Contacted me about your own personal experiences with UFOs and non-human entities, along with your own illustrations. Like these 7 different non-human types linked to missing time and abductions by alien...
Okay, so these are illustrations that people have sent in to her. I mean, they look better than the drawings that the 7-year-old did. I mean, the guy who was talking to us was 45, but the drawings were from when he was 7 years old. So these look better than that, at least.
From far left to right are small, pale gray artificial intelligences, biological reptilian humanoids, translucent glowing humanoids, blonde Nordics like human Scandinavians, tall whites 8 to 10 to even 12 feet tall that are alleged to travel by jumping dimensions. And then there are the strange teal blues and biological grays with large slanted black eye coverings. With 3i Atlas, some remote viewers have even detected what they think are signs of life inside the huge 3i Atlas craft. So has our government been trying to hide what could be an extraterrestrial reconnaissance mission to Earth's solar system? And could it be dangerous to us on the Earth?
Could it be?
Tonight I'm going to share with you a recent discussion I had with retired U.S. Navy Captain Mark Wood, now age 75, living in southern Florida. He had a distinguished 25-year Navy career in airborne navigation.
The weird credentialism in these UFO spaces, it's like if you were ever in any of the armed services in like any capacity, or ever worked for the federal government in like almost any capacity, if you worked in Congress in any capacity, somehow you are more credible about UFOs. Somehow you have a retirement career in UFOs. Anyway, I'm sick of it.
Search and rescue and anti-submarine warfare. He retired in 1996 after accumulating 3,000 hours during maritime patrol and anti-submarine warfare operations in both Pacific and Atlantic Fleet units. Mark Wood received a Bachelor of Aerospace Engineering from Georgia Tech, a Master of Science in Ocean Engineering from Florida Atlantic University, and is a licensed professional engineer. He was also a former faculty member and staff engineer of Florida Atlantic University's Ocean Engineering Department. Became the staff engineer at the Florida Institute of Oceanography, responsible for the operation of Florida's 2 oceanographic research vessels. On July 21st, 2025, this first of 3 sharp images of 3I Atlas was officially released by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System Telescope, known by the acronym ATLAS, in the South American country of Chile. Mark pointed out the several straight whitish-blue lines that surround the central blue and white glowing 3I Atlas. So what exactly are those short, straight, white lines?
Okay,
3I Atlas
should I take a guess? Anything else? I mean, like, obviously I feel like a line like that, I guess, would imply to me that it had been, taken over a span of time, like those are some kind of moving object. That's what they look like. They look like they're moving objects, not stationary little lines. So, anyway, I don't know. Take that into consideration.
Monitored moving between 130,000 to 150,000 miles an hour toward our solar system. At that extremely high speed, the surrounding stars will look like blurry straight lines because the craft is moving.
Yes, that's what I thought. Anyway, it's because it's moving. Anyway, it's a craft, but it's definitely a craft.
Rapidly in contrast to the background stationary stars.
Yes, stars that have
And
moved.
Mark, when you look at what is coming day by day into the web and you look at the images, this whole question about clickbait being used to suck people in but camouflage the truth, that seems to be one of the challenges that we all have now. What is real and what is not.
No doubt, Linda. And let's talk about the photographs. Everybody has seen photographs taken of the moon or planets, close-ups of the space station. And when those photographs are taken, they're taken of objects that are not moving, and they're in focus, they're not blurry, and the stars in the background are all just little white dots, and everything seems clear. And everybody seems to be real upset with what they have seen online with 3I Atlas because they keep getting information that there's going to be new clear photographs. And when they get the new photographs and they look, the 3I Atlas image seems to be like a fuzzy cotton ball. And everybody's upset. Well, what they don't understand, as you have already pointed out, is that this object is moving somewhere between 130,000 and 100.
Okay, I'm actually proud of Linda for debunking something stupid. Yay.
50,000 miles per hour. And the telescopes that are taking the pictures are typically fixed. They take a fixed picture of a fixed part of the sky. And since the stars don't move, because the Earth rotates once in 24 hours, everything is clear. Well, we now have an object that's moving very fast. And so what they have done with these observatories is they have programmed them to move. They are driving the telescope to try and keep up with 3I Atlas by making sure that it's transiting along the trajectory and it's got the right angle to it, and they're taking a picture then. Now, they still get a little bit out of focus because it's taking a couple of seconds from the time that they take the picture until it gets into the computer. So there's still a little blurriness with the 3I Atlas part of it. But what you can see delineates a real photograph from a fake is that the stars are now showing as a line because the telescope is moving.
Telescope moved.
A real photograph
expose their camera.
will not show pinpoint clear stars. And if you have watched any of the online videos for any of the podcasts of the various different websites, they will show unbelievably clear, detailed images of what they are saying.
I'm like at a loss for words, because this is like something useful and helpful information instead of, about people's sleep paralysis dreams.
Is 3-eye atlas, and all the stars in the background are just perfect white dots. And what that should tell you right off the bat is it's a fake image, don't believe it, and it's got information there that somebody paid to draw the image, and it's not what we're really looking at.
Stuff.
And what is another good example of clickbait that is using phony images now that seems to be coming every day?
Well, I think the thing that everybody realizes is that when we first got the internet back, I guess, some 20 years ago, after about a year or two, everybody realized that just because you saw it on the internet and read it, it didn't necessarily mean it was true. Well, now we have an internet that not only has the same issue that we had before, but now we have artificial intelligence that's basically describing what you're listening to. You've got narrations that they say are real people that turn out not to be real people. They've got a talking face of the person.
Which is artificial intelligence at work.
They're talking about like deep fakes of people, maybe?
Now in all of the computer.
I'm going to speed this up because I feel like he's talking really slowly. Let's do like a 1.25.
And it's sort of overwhelming, don't you think?
Oh, it's gotten to be ridiculous. And the reason it's gotten to be ridiculous is if you think about the fact that not everybody was on the internet 20 some odd years ago. Now everybody is on the internet, whether it's at your home computer, whether it's at the office, whether it's on your cell phone while you're on vacation. And therefore, the amount of information that you can find is unbelievable. And as a result of that, people have turned it into a money-making business. They've got podcasts about anything you can think of, whether it's planting a garden, raising dogs, gambling, whatever you can think of, there is a website. And the way they make money is to get people to view their videos. And people will click, and that's why it's called clickbait. They will click on a video and watch it. And unfortunately, people tend to rather...
It is sort of weird that, like, they're spending this time debunking other people's stuff, but then they're calling this thing a craft, which they cannot know. And my understanding is the scientific consensus is that it is a comet. But they're like, other people are making up sensationalist stuff to get attention. But also, this is a spacecraft. Okay.
See car crashes than somebody watching a car. And so if you look at what's happening with 3-eye atlas, there are astronomers and astrophysicists who will stay up all night just to watch what the telescope is showing them and really enjoy it and make decisions as to what they're seeing and why they're seeing it, whereas most people that are interested in it are watching it because all of a sudden they see a video that says this is going to impact the Earth and everybody is going to die. And so they immediately go there to see what the problem is. Well, what they find out is it's saying a lot of stuff that's not true, but you already clicked, so they're going to get paid for you watching it. And what we've got to do is make people understand that unlike the newspapers of old, where they had the theory that dog bites man and that's not news, but if a man bites a dog, that is news and you'll see it in the paper. Well, you are not the type of person that's going to show videos of a man biting a dog. And it's time that somebody gets out in front of this and basically says that there is a lot of information on a very important technical subject, and it's garbage.
Yeah. And where do you think we are right now in October of 2025 in terms of the big overarching box of everything we are discussing? And that is, are we alone in this universe, or are we finally in a breakthrough?
Deep question.
And if we are in a breakthrough, in which there is advanced technology being shown to us in these videos, do you think that we're going to get the huge crashing headline sometime in the next few weeks? We're not alone. And by then, that everybody will know.
I am so confused. This is like a total switcheroo, because they were like, oh, all these people are making such a big deal and they think it's going to impact Earth, and they're trying to say it's going to kill everyone, and it's not, and they're making up these fake pictures, and don't believe the fake pictures. But also, it's definitely a spacecraft, and the aliens are going to be acknowledged as real because of this in a few weeks.
That it's the truth.
Unfortunately, I don't think that the truth is going to come out, at least in the next couple of months. Hopefully, maybe we'll see it in 2026. But there are too many reasons why certain groups in everybody's government, not just ours, they control classified and deeply classified information, and they do not want a lot of that information out in the public. And so even though when we talk about people seeing a UFO, people who have been abducted, vehicles that have crashed, we're still getting a story that's, no, that's not true, it was swamp gas. And it's time for all of that to end.
Well, I don't think they're saying
we don't know what 3I Atlas is. Is it a big rock that came apart from a planet exploding, and it's been moving in our direction for several 100,000 years? Or is it, in fact, advanced technology, another species?
Probably
if that's
not.
the case, is it just a probe like Voyager 1 and 2? Did it come through our solar system just by pure chance? Or did this other species know we were here? Perhaps they woke up one morning and saw the remnants of the nuclear blasts that we had in 1945.
Oh my God,
and
it always comes back to
depending upon how
World War
far
II,
away
doesn't
they
it?
are, they may want to know who did that.
These people, all the people involved in this, are like all the like real principal figures in the UFO world. They're all boomers, and they are all fixated on World War II as being like the origin, the cause, the most important thing in all the, for UFOs. Not to say World War II wasn't important, but it's sort of like, how like every middle-aged man just like becomes fixated on World War II and just like reads World War II books and like watches World War II documentaries or whatever. Like they have the same thing, they've just like translated it into alien world. So like World War II is super important, but it's because like it was when the aliens came here, or like Linda says it's like it was a alien war fought with human bodies, and also like other people are like that's when we first got alien technology, or the first alien crashes were recovered, or whatever. But they're so fixated on World War II, and I know the atomic bomb was a big deal, but like it's a really big deal to us, right? And for us it's like this huge, I guess, advancement in technology, dangerous civilization ending possible thing. But like, why would the aliens necessarily think it is significant in the same way as us? Like maybe to them it's just like, well, that's just like nothing compared to the really big thing that you're supposed to discover next. Or maybe they're not even thinking that linearly at all. Or yeah, like we're all assuming that the aliens, if they exist, I do think that alien life probably exists in the universe, but anyway, I'm talking about like the aliens that are supposedly coming here. Like, we're all assuming that they conceive of all this stuff in the same way that we do. Like, we think like, oh, the atomic bomb was this huge civilization changing thing that exists now and came to be in World War II. But like, why would the aliens think that way about it? Like, I don't think we know. Like, I think there's an argument there, but I think the constant assumption and hammering on about World War II as being this turning point for the aliens is just translating human thinking onto aliens.
It seems as if in the several days that there have been the streams of headlines, clickbait issue, that whatever is in control of 3I Atlas, it appears to be operating with awareness, and that the very idea that it came into this solar system with a plan of how it would go on the other side of the sun and do something when we couldn't see it, it is implying that there is intelligence, cunning, and planning in what we are looking at.
How?
I think that that's definitely possible. There are a bunch of different options. If this is not a big rock, if in fact it was created by an intelligent species, it could be a probe that just
it didn't
by
go into the
chance
sun?
came through our solar system. It could be an autonomous vehicle that's being operated by AI and robots, and it communicates back with the civilization that created it. It could be a manned vehicle.
Why would you have any
where they
reason to
actually
think
have
this?
pilots
Let's
on board
optimize this
that are
situation.
flying
It's a
it
rock.
and looking at what they see coming through our solar system. The thing, I guess, that would make me feel a little bit better about that is if this was manned, or if it was an AI-operated vehicle that wanted to learn about our solar system.
Why? Where is this coming from? Like, why is it... I don't know anything about this thing's approach to the solar system. Maybe it is somehow, like, I don't know, seems particularly, I don't know, designed to go around objects or not fall into sun, or whatever, but, like, I think it's quite possible for a rock to go through our solar system and not fall into the sun. I mean, like, yeah, I guess the sun has a pretty strong gravitational pull, but, like, I don't know, it seems like there would be a lot of options for it to not fall into the sun. And is that why we're suddenly like, well, it didn't fall into the sun, so therefore it's being driven by AI robots? Sure.
The Earth and Mars and whatever, then it wouldn't be just going through at 130,000 miles per hour and come into the solar system at one point and leave someplace else and keep on going. I would think that it would maneuver, and so far, since July, and actually the people that operate one of the telescopes, the Terrestrial Exoplanet Survey Telescope, went back and looked at some of their videos, and they think they actually saw this before Atlas found it, and instead of being 4.5 astronomical units away from the sun, it's probably another 1 3/4 further out that's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So we know at that point in time when the trajectory was calculated, this thing was going to pass by Mars, inside Mars' orbit. It was going to have its closest approach to perihelion with the sun, and it was going to do that on October 29th. And it's supposed to leave the solar system going past Jupiter around December 17th. It's behind the sun, so if all of a sudden it made a 90-degree right-hand turn and it's coming for Earth, we don't know that. But so far, that hasn't happened.
No, it's not doing that.
I tend to think that it's probably more of an AI-operated intelligence probe of some sort.
However,
Why is it
remote
AI?
viewers have gotten what they thought were frequencies having to do with biological life. I also wonder about your impression of motive, goal. This clearly is advanced technology. Would the actions that we have seen, which seems like stealth, sort of hiding, not known to us, there's been no introduction, at least not to us publicly. And that's where it falls into the line of what is the motive, what is the goal, and could it be dangerous to us on the Earth?
I think that one of the issues, and this gets back to this important issue of the clickbait, is the fact that we have not seen from an official governmental source a realistic and verifiable podcast to say that we picked up a signal coming from this vehicle at X hertz going in a direction. If it was just a rock, even at the speed that it's coming from, we're talking about 4,000 years for every light year that it would travel at 130,000, 150,000 miles an hour. And if they're saying that it may be coming from the star in Sagittarius that's 78 light years away, this thing as a rock took 400,000 years to get to where we are. And obviously, it's a rock.
The Earth is like 5 billion years old.
But if, in fact, it's a probe, if, in fact, it has a crew on board, if it's a probe that is actually monitored with robots and AI that's looking at where we are and what we do, or if it's suspended animation that's going to take a large number of their citizens to a new planet, then they can't be on that thing for 400,000 years. So what that says is that whoever fabricated this thing has the ability to either travel at multiple times the speed of light.
I can't. Like, there's literally no reason to think this is anything other than a space rock, flying through space. Why are we going to these lengths of being like, it's a manned spaceship, it's a probe controlled by AI, it's a generational sleeper ship, and they're going why are we even bothering to think through these things that there's zero evidence that it could possibly be that? You're just fantasizing.
Or they have the ability to bend space and time, because there is no way that one of these vehicles could have come from Sagittarius and done so very quickly.
No, it couldn't have.
And yesterday, October 28, 2025, my colleague in England, Ian Holling, emailed me a list of, quote, 8 new data points from the International Gemini Observatory in Mauna Kea, Hawaii. Okay. And so did Captain Mark. Number 1, 3i Atlas has unusual orbit. Its path is almost perfectly aligned with our solar system planets' orbits, very unlikely to happen by chance. 2, 3i Atlas has a jet of material pointing toward the sun, the opposite of what is expected for comets.
That's weird if this is true.
3i Atlas is massive in size. It's far heavier and faster than the previous interstellar visitors, Oumuamua and Borisov.
Fine. Things can be bigger or smaller.
3i Atlas has precise timing. It passed close to Mars, Venus, and Jupiter in a way that seems finely tuned.
Seems
5,
extraordinarily subjective.
3i Atlas has odd metal clues. Its gas cloud has lots of nickel, more than iron, something usually seen in human-made alloys.
All right.
6, 3i Atlas has very low water content, only about 4% water, while most comets are mainly made of water.
An unusual
7,
comet.
3i Atlas has strange light reflection. It reflects light in a way no other comet has ever shown.
What does that mean?
8, 3i Atlas, coincidence with the Wow signal. It came from the same general direction in the universe as the famous unexplained radio signal that was detected all the way back in 1977.
I forget what that was.
Harvard University PhD astronomer Avi Loeb reports.
Oh no,
that
Avi
when
Loeb.
all of these 8 facts are calculated.
Okay, so just to talk about Avi Loeb for a second, I watched a congressional briefing by the UAP Disclosure Fund. Avi Loeb is a Harvard physicist who seems reasonably, has had a decent academic career, has published, was the head of department for a while, blah, blah, blah. But he's gotten into this UFO stuff now. I think he's gotten into it in a pretty mild way. He's kind of more in the school of maybe there's some space junk from other civilizations, alien civilizations coming through here or something. He doesn't claim to know, I think, how they get here or anything like that. But he runs this thing called the Galileo Project, and he just seems to want money to do whatever kind of research he wants to do, and I think other physicists aren't huge fans of him at this moment because he's making them look silly by being one of these UFO people now. Anyway, Avi Loeb is actually someone, unlike some of these other people where it's like, oh, well, they were in the military and therefore they know about UFOs and what they say about UFOs is somewhat consequential. I don't see why this should necessarily follow. Avi Loeb actually is I guess a physicist and has some applicable skills and knowledge or whatever, but I don't know. I don't regard him as a credible source on this, since he seems to want UFO people money to do whatever the fuck he wants to do.
The chance of all 8 happening naturally is incredibly small, about 1 in 10 quadrillion. That's 10 to the minus 16th.
Well,
Further,
everything
Harvard
is that. Okay, the probability of anything happening is the probability of there being life on Earth is probably, if you could even do those sums, if you could even know the things you would need to know to do those probabilities, it would also be vanishingly small, I am sure. So that means nothing to me. I don't know. I mean, everything that happens is a minuscule chance of happening just by virtue of all the contingencies. Anyway.
Loeb now says that there is, quote, a 40% chance that Three-Eye Atlas...
40%! Where did 40% come from? How do you get that number? Like, what kind of calculations are you running to get 40%? There's no way to calculate that. If there is, I want to see how he did it. But, like, there's no way to calculate, oh, yeah, it's a 40% chance that it's alien technology. Like, how would you even determine that? Like, what are you even looking at? Like, how are you... All right.
Alien technology, close quote. And I want to thank retired U.S. Navy Captain Mark Wood in Florida and my colleague Ian Halling in England for sending those 8 facts, and to my friend, astrophysicist John Brandenburg, who has been working hard also in trying to stay up with daily reports about Three-Eye Atlas. The film that some people have asked me about that I have referenced, and I just wanted to bring this up to speed before we go to questions and answers with Ian. It was all the way back in July, and I was doing my first research on Edgar Cayce, and I had never read books or read any.
Oh, okay. Is this about Edgar Cayce? Because wasn't he like a psychic or something?
About him, and was at the computer and typed in his name, and a list came up. It was a mixture of old, new books, films, like actual old films. And one of them looked like a documentary, and that's what I really wanted to see, would be documentaries done a long time ago. And I wrote in my spiral notebook on that day, I just do spiral notebooks for notes and things, that
Yes.
what I was looking at in this film that was showing Edgar Cayce reenacting how he would lay down, go to sleep, his wife would transcribe what he was saying in his sleep, and so they built up a lot of notebooks and paper of his sleeping knowledge.
Sleeping knowledge.
That in one of, and the camera, they were reenacting. I just want people to understand it was a reenacting history
also, why is
film.
she interested in a
And they were
psychic
reenacting
from like
the
the
scene
40s or something?
about
The 20s?
his
I don't even
seeing
know.
the date, October 29th, 2025. And because that would be now, and I'm looking at an old, grainy, scratched documentary film from long ago, I wrote it down on my spiral notebook that look for October 29th, 2025. And then there was another sentence that said that he compared it to a blade of light in the sky, followed by some kind of destruction.
So this is something you wrote in your notebook, but you
that there would
can't.
be big changes environmentally and politically and war on the Earth beginning in the period of October, and it said 2025. Now, I don't know myself how all of these different layers work, but I'm assuming frequencies, that we're in a cosmos of many frequencies, and frequencies can come into our brain from something that might be 100 miles away, and that is something we humans may not fully understand, but that it works in this universe. The key is frequencies,
The frequency comes into
past,
your
present,
brain
and future.
From 100 miles away?
Well, now, NASA has put the Three-Eye Atlas on its threat list for the first time in history, in case Atlas turns out to be, quote, an alien invader, close quote.
God.
And those
I
are
mean,
words
who knows
that
what's going on
have
at
recently
NASA
made
right now,
the news. So here we are on the night of October 29th, 2025. So far, the planet is still here.
Yes.
But in serious tone, with respect and appreciation, I would like to go to Ian in England.
Wait.
Who is...
Okay, so she was just talking about, like, oh, I wrote in my notebook that I saw this old documentary about Edgar Cayce where he said this date and, like, made a reference that could be applied to Three-Eye Atlas. Where's the documentary? What is it? What's it called? Where did you see it? Or are we just going to rely on notes you took at some point from something? She didn't say what it was. Anyway, I'm going to get going because I know she just said, hey, Ian, and that's the point at which she usually goes to her comments comments, or like the comments from the previous video or from previous videos or something like that. And those are all the people who are like, I had a dream that my father came back and put a penny on my head. So, you know, like I can't be here for that. But yeah, it was really fun to be back. I should start doing this again, because I enjoy it. I enjoy Linda, even though she frustrates me, but she does just put a smile on my face by existing. So anyway, thanks everyone. See you later.